So in the last video, I replaced my air filter because of the oil that was coming out of it. And I figured I should change out the engine oil also. And that's what I'll be doing today. And I figure some of you guys are new riders or a new owner of a Sportster and you might not know how to do that yourself. So before I do the oil change, I want to show you guys how I have my bike staying level. That right there is a rock under my kickstand, and that's all I'm using to have my bike sit upright. You can do this with a piece of plywood too. Just make sure it's at least an inch thick and you should be fine. And this is for those that don't have a motorcycle stand. So this rubber hose has a clamp that's helping it attach to the frame. I just need to take off that clamp to be able to pull the rubber hose out of there. There we go. Here's what the clamp looks like. Alright, now that we have the rubber hose off the frame, I just need to undo the fastener here with my flathead. It's really simple to do. And it doesn't need to come off, it just needs to be loose. Loose enough to pull the plug. There you go. That's as simple as I could get to do an oil change on your Sportster. I did let the bike idle for a bit for the engine to warm up, but it seems like I let it sit for too long before I started making this video, so the oil is a lot colder than I would like it to be, because when it's warmed up it flows much faster and more oil does come out. So since we're waiting for the oil to drain, I guess I can talk about the recall that I had to be done today. I guess in 2019 there was a recall for, I think, the 2018 Sportsters, 2018 to 2019 Sportsters, about a headlight issue where either the bulb or the headlight glass itself was melting, and that was considered a defect. I didn't have any problems with that, so I didn't bother to take in my Sportster to do it. And it's 2021 now, and when I went to try and get my new tags, the DMV wouldn't let me. And I was clueless as to why, because for 2020 it was just fine. So basically, after trying to contact the DMV for a month through email, they finally reached back to me that there was a recall on my bike that needed to be done before they could approve me to get my new tags. Which I thought that was interesting, because like I said, in 2020 they were completely fine with it and let me get my tags. But I don't know what changed. But anyways, I just decided that, you know what, this is just a problem that's just gonna be worse in the future if I don't take care of it as soon as I can. So today I had that done through Sacramento Harley Davidson. Now all I need to do is bring these papers to the DMV and pay for my new tags. So the oil's not done yet. It's still draining. So let me show you how I fixed the baffle issue. If you can see that, that is a new bolt that I had installed today. I went to Home Depot and I got so lucky. It was the last set that they had. So basically what I had with this baffle problem was that the original bolt had came off, but because this was the first time for me, I didn't know that that's all it was. So I thought that the issue was worse than it really was, but really it just needed a new bolt. And I was such an idiot, because I was like, how do I know what was there? Well, I have an exact piece right here that I could refer to, and it took me a few days to finally come up with that, so it's a bit embarrassing. But if you can see here, that's all it is. in the original was just a bolt. If you can see that, it's just a bolt that goes there to stop the baffle from coming out. And so, which I was happy that's all it was, because as cool as it sounds to get a new muffler system or an exhaust system, I really don't want to be paying money that I don't have to. And that's all it was. This is a M8 bolt, and that's all I needed to do. I fixed the problem. We're back over here. The oil is done draining. It's not a lot. I think the Sportster only takes about 3 quarts of oil. This seems less than that, so I was probably burning oil too. We're on the other side now, and this is the oil cap for the 2018 Sportster. All you have to do is press down the oil cap and it should pop up like this. However, for my bike, brand new, it worked perfectly just like that. You pop it up for it to pop up like this, and then you twist to unscrew. But after a few months of owning it, it started to get tight. Like when I pressed down for it to pop up, it wouldn't pop up. And that's just how it's been ever since then. So this has been an issue for me. And if any of you 2018 Sportsters, or just any Sportster owner that has a pop-up oil cap like mine, have this issue, do let me know in the comments so I know that I'm not alone in this. Alright, so basically after it pops up, you just have to twist it, and there it is. I don't know why it gets stuck, but here's what the bottom of the oil cap looks like. I'm gonna wipe that clean so that when I take the measurements with the new oil in there, it will be accurate. So this is the oil brand that I got from O'Reilly's. It's a Castrol brand. It's nothing special. It's a 20W50 weight, which is the recommended weight for the Sportster and other V-twins also. I don't use a I think they call it a filler cup, at least not for this small hole right here. You can, if you have a filler cup that size that will fit that hole, but for me, since I don't, I just hand hold the quart bottle and pour it in. If I get any spills, then just get a rag and wipe it. So before I pour in this oil, just a reminder that it only takes 3 quarts. So this is the first quart, and there'll be 2 more that comes after this. Alright, let's get a close-up shot of that liquid gold. This is the second quart. Before I put in the third quart, I had a feeling I should pour out the old oil and see just how much came out, because it didn't look like 3 quarts came out. And sure enough, it wasn't. It only added up to about 1.5 quarts that came out. So there's 2 things I'm thinking of as to why that could be. One, because I already had so much oil come out from the air filter, that caused me to lose oil, which I'm not worried about, because that would mean that I'm just low on oil. 2, the oil wasn't hot enough to when I was draining it, so there's still a lot of oil, old oil in the system that needs to be drained, which I'm not going to, because I just put in new oil, and I'm fine with that. So what I'm going to do now, instead of putting in the last 3rd quart, I'm just going to put back the oil cap and start up the motor. And once I let it cycle for a bit, I'm gonna let it chill, and then take off the oil cap again and see where the levels are at. So it's been about 30 minutes since I let the bike sit, and here is the level where the oil's sitting at. It's basically halfway. So that's a good indication that 2 quarts was enough. I could probably add in another half quart, but I don't want to, just because I don't want to have another issue with oil coming out my air filter, which there's always going to be vapors coming out because that's how the system is designed. But I think the excess oil was because I had put too much in my oil tank from the last oil change. And so I'm gonna just keep it halfway. That's good. And if it goes any lower than that, then I know that I have another quarter bottle that I could just top off every time it drops. So that'll be the end of the oil change, and hopefully you guys enjoy the video. And I'm just super happy that I got my baffle fixed. It was such a easy solution, and it saved me a lot of money. It's not the same bolt as the original, but if it works, it works.